welcome to Dan Can Cook. I'm Dan, and we're teaching you how to cook. Well, I want to pick up from where we left off last time, which was with canned peas. Now, I've gotten a lot of email from people, and it seems there's a little bit of confusion about my presentation. I think that everybody understands that you're supposed to open the can with a can opener, but not everybody really has the concept of what you're supposed to do with the peas. Well, you have the peas. Believe it or not, you're supposed to eat the peas. And in confidential to Mr. A of Aberdino, I don't think you can get tetanus from that, but you might want to contact your doctor anyway, and if not, a normal, say, medical doctor, definitely an oral surgeon. Anyway, today we're going to be boiling water, and I know that you're all excited about this because a lot of people have been wanting us to do the same for a long period of time. Well, we're going to start you out easy, and we're going to break in with just boiling water. Now, you're going to need 2 or 3 things to really boil water well. I always recommend a heat source. A lot of people like to hold their water up to the broad daylight, and that works pretty well if you're heating a small volume of water like an eyedropper's worth. But if you want to cook yourself a whole meal's worth of ramen, you're going to want to actually have a heat source. I recommend like a stove or a hot plate or something. If you have somebody else's, that's just fine too. Then you're going to need a pot. You're going to need a pot to put some water on to keep the water itself off the heat source. And I recommend that you use one with a full bottom, one that's maybe seen a little bit of use but is still good. A lot of people ask, well, what kind of pot should I use? I would have to say the stuff from Baja is by far the best. Baja Gold, we call it. Last of all, you're going to need water. Now, a lot of people really forget this important step in boiling water. They forget the water itself. Well, we're all only human. So if you've been good and haven't been bathing too much recently, what I recommend is you use the water from a sink. You just turn the tap like so. I'll show you how to do it here now. And you wait until there is a bunch of water in the pot. Now, the question is, okay, how much water am I going to put in there? Well, that really depends on the application. I'll stop the water now. You just turn the tap itself exactly like you did before, only the other direction. It's not one of those things, it's not a periodic function. You don't keep turning it and turning it, you turn it the other way. Some of you may have one of those neat lifty handles, and for those of you, you can just skip this whole boiling water thing if you figured out how to operate one of those and go on to next week when we take a look at ramen. Okay, so now as you can see, we have water in the pan. Now you put it on top of the heat source, and then you start applying heat. Now I'm going to turn this lever on here. Start heating the front burner. What you are going to do depends a lot on what you're working with. If you're working with a hot plate, you might just have to plug it in. If you're working with a microwave, then be very careful, because although it seems easy, metal does not fare well in the microwave. That's coming from experience. Another bit of experience, this is something that the pros really try doing a lot, is they put a top on whatever they're heating. If you're boiling water, you're going to want to put, say, the lid of the pot on the pot. Well, we'll just leave it there for a couple minutes, see how we do.
5 minutes later.
Hello, and welcome back to Throwing. Well, as you can see, the water is now nice and hot. Those of you who can see the infrared spectrum can probably tell this a lot better than many of our other viewers, however. Trust me, this is nice and hot. Well, now what are you going to do with it? You've got a quantity of hot water. You can do one of many things. You can make soup, you can make ramen, but what we're going to do today is we're going to actually pour it down the drain. Such a waste, really, but unfortunately that's the way it has to go. On the plus side, there's no chance of cholesterol poisoning, for instance, or getting too much lead into your system by not drinking water. On the other hand, there isn't much nutritive value not in it. So, back to the regular program.